How much of my underparts can you see? Oh yeah.
Quit manspreading in my YouTube channel. Ahoy, mateys!
Hello!
I'm Kaluohs, and my energetic guest here is Mikey, which we have to say that way because he spells it with a Y.
Or you could just say Mikey.
Mikey.
MyKey2Lyfe.
That's his Instagram handle.
That's my Instagram.
So spoiler alert, that's where you can find him soon. And he is here to film a new episode of Faces of Kaluohs. And if you watched our last episode with the lovely Smitty, that is his blushing bride. So these happy newlyweds both wanted to be on the show. We're happy to have them. And so what are you expecting from the show? What are you here for?
Something random. I know there's going to be something thrown in there where I'm not aware of what's happening or what direction it's going to go. That's the fun part about art and hanging out with you.
That normally happens when people hang out with me, is that they have no idea the direction and it's something random, possibly interesting.
Usually is.
Yeah, we haven't known each other long, but it's been a colorful experience so far.
Very colorful.
So when you signed up to be on the show, you agreed to answer 3 questions, and then we're throwing in some extra ones that you're not aware of, and then we're going to make something awesome.
Right.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So before we get into the questions, tell our viewers at home a little bit about what you do that's creative.
Well, I do photography, and if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see it's a lot of cosplay photography, and that's really where my passion is. I do a little bit of my own cosplay as well, but I love capturing that image and capturing people's creativity and their passions and things like that. And I think it's done kind of well, and I'm glad I can bring that to life and be on the other side of that aspect of the cosplay community for people.
Very cool. And just like the cosplay community needs people to dress up, they need people to capture that. You're doing a good service for the world.
Good.
So we have a couple questions here that you've agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
And then some random ones thrown in. So the first question that you know is coming is, when did you first call yourself an artist?
When I said yes to this question, I went, yeah, that's a good one. I could come up with that one. And then I didn't pinpoint when that exactly was. It was probably sometime, I would say 2017, when I got started really going to cons and capturing cosplay with photography and things like that. And doing some semi-legit, full-blown photo shoots with people, and then taking that home and being able to edit that and bring people into a scene. Really, that was completely, a shot taken off of the con floor, and then bring them into this entire scene where you had no idea that that's where it happened at, and to see the person's reaction.
Before then, were you just a guy with a camera?
I didn't get into photography as much until around that time. Before, it was a lot more photo editing and just really exploring that side and trying to create environments that people aren't typically in a photo and bring them into this sort of nerd culture scene.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned for the Collabetition because we're going to reference that again. But we're going to get to the next question that you're aware of, which is, your house is on fire. What do you say?
Well, I'm taking liberties with this one a little bit because all the people are out, or they can save themselves because they're full-blown adults. And we're gonna go there because this question is about items. Because if it was who, obviously me. But for items, I would say my computer. And I know it's obvious, but I game on there. That's where I do all my, photography, editing.
The browsing history, I get it.
I mean, that's only some people I don't want to see. Others are just really fine. I'm open with that. But I would definitely say that because that's also how I connect with a lot of people in the gaming community that I have. And I think that enables me the power just to continue to do the photography the way that I want to. And I wouldn't want to lose out on that.
So if you were homeless and you still had your laptop, you'd do that.
Well, it's a desktop, so I probably would carry that around. I would probably grab that up and I would probably carry that just because it was so expensive to build, and just for principle, why not?
Good answer. The last question you knew was coming is actually the question that you and your wife both picked for the shows. So what advice would you give your 13-year-old self?
This was one I thought about for a lot. It's difficult because you want to give, I think we have the problem of wanting to be very specific with 13-year-old me. And for me, it was difficult to look at what 13-year-old me could even comprehend that 30-plus-year-old me now knows and has experienced. But I think that a big part of it would really be to follow your passions and not let other people or outside influences diminish or put down down what you really want to be and what you really want to do, and let that flourish and explore that and do those things that you just have inside that you're passionate about, and just see where they go and see where they take you, and live life from that rather than living your life based on what other people tell you how you should live it, and go that way. I think I would have said that to myself.
So what was 13-year-old you passionate about? What were you excited about?
Oh, I still loved video games. I was very passionate about video games. Somebody's doing things over in the corner that, but it was video games. And I mean, part of it has brought, since then, is bringing the things that I bring into photography now, still into that. But there was a lot of things that, you know, I put under subjugation because of what other people told me to do, not because of what I ended up wanting to do or experience.
Right, I feel like that's a common answer that we get for this 13-year-old question, is that 13-year-old selves are getting beaten down with that peer pressure and being told to do or be something a certain way, and we can't always follow that. So
I always wished that there was someone there to tell me, yes, go try that thing. Just try it. You might not like it, give it a little bit of time, but you also might like it. Instead of just me being fearful or taking some assumptions from what adults told me to do and be this way, and then growing up and going, man, I never did that thing I always wanted to do.
I was the opposite. I did absolutely everything. I was like, I'm gonna be a rollerblader, and I'm gonna be a rock climber, and I'm gonna do all this stuff, and my parents were like, yeah, let's just make all of it happen. And I'd be like, Mom, I think I want to be a cosmetologist. She's like, you can own a salon someday. Like, you will be the president. This is what happens. So, heads up. The last question that we have is actually a trick question, because it's one card, but it's two questions.
Okay.
One was submitted by a Facebook user who's actually submitted a lot of questions to this show. So if you want to hear your question on the show, you can either comment it in the comments below or send it on any social media, and your question could be answered here. This one specifically was sent in by Archie Spires on Facebook, and Mr. Spires wants to know, what was your worst moment that turned into the best memory?
That is an amazing question, Archie. That is really, really good.
You have to start with the worst moment.
You do. You have to start with a really, really bad time that turned good, because you could have just the worst moment and it never turned good.
Yeah, which is also dark, but this has a positive spin.
It does, yeah. See, now this is one you have to think about. So the worst to the best, it would be easy to say worst and end, but with a best twist ending was probably SuperCon 2017, where we met. So there, that's the best, done. No, so we had planned this day to have this Evolutions Samurai and Geisha photo shoot, and the time that was given wasn't really good. It was kind of vague, and then by the time it started, it was way later than normal. Where we met to where we traveled to was a long distance. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare for any shoot, and a shoot with 18 people.
There was 18 people and 5 photographers. It was really a parade, and you never knew which photographer to listen to, because they're all yelling for you all to do things, and oh, now we need these people, and now we need these people, and this other photographer is trying to do this with those people while those people are doing this. And it was good for exposure, but it was really kind of confusing.
It was a madhouse. It didn't stop being bad from there. My battery died on my camera, but I had a camcorder backup with me, and I went, okay, cool, well, I'll just grab that to use it. But I couldn't use the same memory card. So that was also just all kinds of things just started parading and flowing downhill fast. So I ended up doing some videography, which was about, no, there was something else. I did some videography that was good for me experience-wise. I got some photography out of it. But I think the best thing that came from it was the dedication there, being able to collaborate and talk to other artists and other photographers and things like that. And then spending time with the cosplayers in an environment where they had to model and they had to pay attention with so many things going on.
It was like a crash course.
It really was like a crash course. It was baptism by fire, but in the best way. And when you deal with that much stress at a con, now it's kind of like anything else that happens at a con. It's kind of like, I can handle anything from here on out. And that was really good to start out with that. So I think that would be a good worst to best.
Worst to best. Great. The last final question that you have of this round. This one was my question, but I'm curious, what is your weirdest bad habit?
Weirdest bad habit. So we all have to clip our nails. I used to clip my nails in the bathtub and then just wash them down. No, not like while I'm taking a bath. Like I would literally just be like, oh, okay, I've gotten a shower. Oh, I need to clip my nails. I'd go and sit on the edge of the bathtub and clip my nails and then wash them down with the water.
That's probably smarter than how everyone else clips their nails, which is just in the middle of anywhere and it's in the carpet.
Right. So I feel like that's not weird now that I'm doing it normally, which is probably more messy than what I did before.
I can see that. Well, that has concluded the question round. that we have here. You've survived, you answered them all. And so before we move on to the Collabetition, where we're going to be making something wonderful and crazy, and you'll understand why I'm dressed like a sea wench, how can people get a hold of you and find you if they want to collaborate?
Well, obviously I'm on Instagram, MyKey2Lyfe, and I'm also on Facebook as MyKey2Lyfe as well.
All right, Mikey, you've survived the question round.
Yes.
And we're going to move on to the Collabetition. Do you want to know what we'll be doing today?
Sure, I guess. Tell me.
All right, viewers at home. Nope, okay. Finger guns. I have to stop laughing. Ooh. Serious things, death and murder. Today on the show, Mr. Mikey is going to be inspired by his shirt, and as you can see we have Ariel with some traditional style tattoo stuff, and down here is a ship sinking. So it's funny that you wear that, and I'm dressed as a sea wench, pirate lady, whatever you'd like to call me, and we're going to be making pirate ships.
Alright.
So here's how this goes, because we kind of make this up as we go. So we have cork pieces, which will work as the raft to your boat. You can tie them or use this string or glue them together. You can use as many as you want to. You can make a big Viking style boat, you can make a flat boat, do what you want. You can pick any of the cork pieces. And then these working as the masts stuck down into the cork pieces. And then you can choose any color of construction paper that you choose to cut up and decorate with the Sharpies to have your mast and the sails of the ship. But the trick to it, the way this is a collabetition because we're collaborating but we're also competing, I have to choose things that he has to use in his piece, and he's going to pick things from this random tray of items that I have to use in my piece. So if we could have a random number generated Mikey has to pick 4 items that I have to incorporate into my piece, and then we'll generate a random number and I will give him 4 items for his piece. So pick 4 things that I have to use in my piece.
Guitar pick. Scuba Steve.
That was in the Dick Macaroni art episode too.
We're gonna go with flower. We're gonna give you something not too eclectic. There, and the black feather.
Okay, so if we could have another number generated randomly, Mr. Mikey? 3! So I have to pick 3 items for you to use for the fucking guitar pick.
Oh.
Use the beret.
Isn't beret the hat?
Okay, it's a beret. All right, for that you're getting the fucking paper
Oh,
clip.
man.
But you know what? I'm gonna give you a seashell. The seashell looks cool. That is nautical. Have at.
Start making our shit.
And do things. Oh wait, I have to use these things, don't I? These are absolutely awesome, and for the viewers looking, this is my ship, that's Mikey's ship. After this video is live, you will be able to vote for your favorite ship for the next 24 hours, and then after voting ends, you can purchase one of our magical vessels on the website. So thank you for allowing me to explore my pirate side, and thank you for participating in this totally crazy art project and answering all those questions. And
oh, you actually put yours into a cork. That's a really good idea. Mine's not in a cork.
Thank you all for watching. This has been a really interesting time. We thank you for finding any of this interesting. And if you think it's fun, you should subscribe and tell your friends to subscribe. And there'll be more episodes for Faces of Kaluohs, as we are so elegantly illustrating. And we'll make more crazy stuff and answer more crazy questions. And if you want these crazy people to answer your questions, you can comment them below, down below, or you can just send them to me on any of the social channels, and we'd love to have you on here. So thanks, subscribe, and catch you later. Alright guys, thanks for watching another episode of Faces of Kaluohs. As you can tell, I have many things that you can purchase on my store, and you can actually purchase the art that was made here today after you vote. Check out some of these other videos, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Thanks! Good? Done? Fab. Do you want to take pictures of my dicks now?